Good afternoon. I'd like to try and explain what I'm doing on this channel. Now, I have a bachelor's and a master's in mathematics and more than 10 years experience teaching at both the high school and the lower college level. I've taught all the way up to discrete mathematics and a second semester calculus class for scientists and engineers. I think it was a 5 credit class. So, and I've gone all the way down to pre-algebra. So between pre-algebra and all the way up to there. And I did my master's degree in pure mathematics. And I've even passed a qualifying exam at the PhD level in algebra. But I left without finishing a PhD. So I took some classes at that level. Now, what I'd like to do with this channel is these are all separate classes that people tend to take as undergraduates in the green. Calculus is on the boundary typically between college and high school. The red is typically high school. And then pre-algebra is the beginning of high school. Depending on who you are, the end of middle school or middle school. And generally, qualifying exams are in these 3 areas: algebra, geometry, and analysis, before you're considered literate enough to do your PhD. So, what I want to do is take a synthesis of this material and build a YouTube channel out of all of this, actually. I'll give you an example of how it might work. So, for example, set theory could be a separate class, but usually you use maybe a little bit in linear algebra, quite a bit at the beginning of modern algebra, at the beginning of real analysis, at the beginning of topology. Often set theory gets repeated and a lot of the same ideas get repeated. So, for example, if I do it on this YouTube channel, I could do the set theory once and I can build a playlist leading up. For example, just to give you an example, you know that fifth degree equations are not necessarily solvable by radicals, but fourth, third, and second, like that, like the quadratic formula for second degree, those are solvable. And it takes Galois theory to really see when they're solvable and when they're not at different levels. So I could take the solvability, the insolvability of the fifth degree, and I could build different topics on videos and create a playlist leading up to that. Now, what are the benefits for this? Well, depending on how far down and up I go, I may be able to build a bridge from some basic math up to advanced topics through videos. This could help somebody, say, in a foreign country or doing independent study in math, or somebody who doesn't have money, for courses but wants to understand something. Now, something that's beyond most people, probably me as well right now for sure, say Fermat's theorem that was proven. But what could be done is you could build a playlist with pieces of that video going as far basic as possible and as advanced as possible, building a ladder leading up to understanding pieces of that and putting together those things to understand the whole thing. So really, making something like that with problems and theorems, connecting all this stuff together, rather than being a playlist on real analysis or a playlist on linear algebra, specifically, this is more, it's like a work of art. If you think about it, putting this stuff together, selecting the different topics that interconnect, problems that are interesting, specific problems, all of that is its own kind of sculpture. And that's the channel is not about the single video, but the videos working together to come to various ideas and concepts. So I hope that makes sense, and you can see this could benefit things like artificial intelligence. Because if you synthesize all of this, how would you write a computer program to do mathematics? You would first have to have some visualization, some flow chart, visualization of how all this stuff interconnects in order to write a program to try and do stuff with it, for example. So, and this is just one conceptualization. Other people can have other ways of drawing connections between all this stuff. So I hope that makes sense. And welcome to my channel. And thank you for listening.